Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho, it's me, LeBron James, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast. And as always, I'm joined by just Babby.
Yay.
Like to build up the suspense as if Paul's going to be back.
But he's not.
But he's not. No update as to when he will be back. I don't know if he will be back next week. There have been some developments with the stuff, but who knows what's going to happen. So no promises, but Paul may or may not be back next week. We'll see. But we have a slam dunk episode as always. Not a lot of news though. Sorry. There's only one bit of news that is even like a thing. The other one is like an announcement. And by the time this podcast comes out, it will have already come out. Because I'll just say it's a Mario movie 2 or the Mario movie trailer 2. We're getting another trailer. We're getting it tomorrow as of us recording this podcast. But by the time this podcast comes out, the trailer would have already been out. So we haven't seen a trailer yet. Do you have any predictions?
Well, people tried to do a lot of predictions last time of like funny movie tropes that happen in every single one of these stupid Illumination trailers. And,
Yeah,
none of
that's
them
me.
happened.
Mario.
So I don't know. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
I just want to see Charlie Day as Luigi.
Yes, I would like to see an actual voice line of his. Or really anybody else except for Mario. We already got that.
Yeah.
And I don't need to hear any more of it. But everyone else I would love to see. I saw that the teaser like picture thing was Peach in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll be, I don't remember who's playing Peach. Is it? No, that's Anya Taylor-Joy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would be great in the live action version of Mario. I don't know if she's done any voice acting. I don't think she has.
I feel like she hasn't.
She was in The
only seen
Witch
her
as
in
a
select
little
things.
kid. Well, not a little kid, but she was in The Witch as like a teenager, and then she's basically just been in like the biggest movies ever of all time, even. Which, I mean, you can only go up from The Witch. The Witch was so bad.
Awful.
I haven't seen The Witch. But,
Me neither.
yeah, she has done no voice acting, so I'm sure it'll be fine though. Oh wait, never mind. She was in Playmobil the movie, so she's done
of course.
extensive voice acting
Heavy
work.
hitters.
Yeah. So we may or may not be talking about that next week. I don't even know if we're gonna remember to, because it would have been over a week since the trailer came out. But who knows? We'll see. The only other bit of news that we have this week, that movie that I saw that was really depressing about an Irishman, The Banshees of Inisherin, it is coming to HBO Max on December 13th.
Let's go.
There you go. If you want to see a pretty decent movie, watch it. It's straight up not for everybody, but if you like artsy bullshit, hey, it's just for you. I don't know what to tell you. I did lower my star rating to 3.5 stars instead of 4. Because I'm like, it was really good cinematography and stuff, but like that story I just really did not get a whole lot out of. So sorry, but that's pretty much it for news. We have two
Awesome.
boys of the week. There was just like 2 Titan videos that came out this week. The Roblox Oof video by H Bomber Guy, fantastic video. I highly recommend it. And Defunct Land's Disney Channel theme song video, also a fantastic video. Yes. We got 2 big old long form YouTube videos. I'm pretty sure they're both around an hour and a half. But they're great, like kind of great background things. H Bomber guy is just insane. I've been watching his stuff because that was the first video I saw of his. And he does gaming videos and also like right-wing conspiracy takedown videos that are like super in depth. I'm like, this is a weird combination, but like he does both of them like really well.
Coming from us.
Well, yeah, that's true. But it's just like, here's a 3-hour video about why this Deus Ex sequel is not very good. And then like right after that, it's like, hey, here's an hour-and-a-half video on the vaccine cause autism thing. It was like, okay, you're just going to do that back to back? Okay, guy. So, yeah, he makes good stuff. And Defunct Land also makes good stuff.
True.
So, I thought I'd plug those things. The internet has been ablaze. It's gone viral, if you will. Do I sound like a 2011 news person?
You sound like a 2018 news person because they're still doing it.
That's true. There was a new video on YouTube posted by H Bumber guy called Roblox_oof.mp3. It's a crazy video. It made me laugh. Rafflecopter. Get owned, idiot.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag follow NBC News 13 on twitter.com. I sign every one of my tweets that. Gotta support.
If you could tweet.
If I could.
You
Hey,
might
you
be
know.
able to soon. I think
Yeah,
accounts are getting unsuspended.
Yes. Elon is I forgot. There's a specific day where like suspended accounts can send in an appeal. Okay. It might have already happened. I don't know. I have not been paying attention. Even though I do miss the boy time Twitter. It was one of my favorite pastimes. But it was too rock and roll for Jack. Except
Jack Dorsey wasn't even CEO.
I don't even know who the CEO was. It's Jack Dorsey's cousin or something.
I don't remember. I think he just gave it to the board.
Oh,
Like
that's lame.
Whatever. Yeah, it was kind of a lame transition.
Lame. What is this? Succession?
Yeah.
Hate it.
Dumb.
So, if we get the Twitter back, we will, of course, make a very big announcement. Because it will be funny to me. Yeah. This will be the one good thing to come out of this whole Elon
Don't
Twitter
get
thing.
Banned again.
Hey, you can say anything on Twitter now. It's called freedom of speech, bitch.
Okay. See how that goes.
Hey, you don't know. The right wing are blazing Trump as a new figurehead of the free speech movement. And free speech means you can say whatever you want online and there are no repercussions, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
It's going to be great. I'm going to just post blatant vaccine and misinformation and like bomb schematics.
People were posting like meth recipes on Twitter when Elon took over.
Oh, okay.
That one night was pretty crazy.
Yeah. And everybody was still fine.
That was when their moderation tools didn't work. Like, I don't think there was any moderators. So people were just kind of going off.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Well, because, yeah, they fired everybody. Yeah.
Yep.
Poor Twitter. I wish it would just kind of, like, fizzle out and die already. But for some reason, this cash cow keeps on starving.
He lost so much money on it.
He's
so
starving.
Chilling.
Yeah. It's okay. If he keeps tweeting out Twitter is fun or Twitter is cool, then it'll get more people to sign up for accounts. I don't know what the end game is.
He's so bad at everything surrounding Twitter that I don't think he knows.
Yes. Have you seen the replies to every single one of his tweets where it's just people asking him to invent things? It's probably the funniest thing.
He doesn't invent things.
It was like, and they're like completely random things. And it's like, I can't tell if they're being ironic because it's like people who it's just like a middle-aged guy as their profile picture and they have like an American flag and then they're like, Mr. Musk, would you mind it's like would you what was the one I saw today? Could you invent a passenger plane that had ejector seats for passenger seats like they do in fighter jets so that people who board planes that crash don't die? Hey,
Don't tempt him.
you know, he might do it.
If you talk like a 5-year-old like that to him, he might be like, yo, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. I'm just going to
Put
go
that in
on.
his Tesla so when they blow up or hit a child crossing the crosswalk, they can get out of the scene quickly.
That would be so awesome. Okay, this was a bad. I was just going to go on a recent Musk tweet and see if I could find one, but all of his stuff has been about Apple. So,
Boring.
yeah. I want to find okay, the end table one. This is going to have one that maybe I shouldn't be doing this while I'm running a podcast cuz this is
You have the power of editing.
I do have the power of editing, but I don't edit this. Are you kidding me? Man, what is all these people are just like commenting their own bedside tables. It's like that's not what he's doing. He's flexing his gun and his Diet Coke. Whatever. You know what it's a thing. I saw like a big compilation of them and it was pretty funny. So pretty fun. He also called Jeff Bezos a leftist today. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's just disrespectful
I know.
to everybody but Bezos.
I don't know if he said it, but I think he was like someone else like listed off a bunch of billionaires. And of course it was like Apple and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Susan Wojcicki and like all these people. And it's like, these are all leftists that control the media and what you consume. Do you really want to side with them or would you rather follow the right wing Elon Musk? And then I think he tweeted something where he's like, this is funny to me. Because that's how Elon Musk tweets.
This is funny to me. Good job, Twitter.com user. Epic troll.
Epic troll. Get owned, idiot.
Bezos can't even let his employees use the bathroom. I don't know if...
Yeah. It's like...
I have things I would say, but we're on a podcast.
You can say them. Nobody's watching this anyways.
Oh, God.
Okay. Well, we can talk about stuff then. Or I can talk about stuff. I don't know. I finished God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, my God.
I know. I did it today. It took 3 weeks. A little over 3 weeks, actually. I finally finished it. I know I was bitching about the story. And the beginning is kind of... I wouldn't say it's a slog. But, you know, it picks up. By the end of it, I was moved. It was a great ending. A great game, fantastic story, and pretty g-dang epic combat. I know I was kind of railing on it a little bit on first impressions, but when you like get into the game, you pretty much have all the stuff you have from the first game with like no new things. So I was like, oh, they really did just like copy paste everything from the first game. And then this is just going to be a sellout. Corey Balrog said that this is going to be a DLC for the first game. Oh, I am going to get my torches and pitchforks. And then throughout the game, crazily enough, the combat gets more and more complex and there are a bunch of things that get added and it completely changes everything. It just builds on the existing system. In a way that is very cool and satisfying to pull off really, really epic combos. But it isn't like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta or something where it's just like over-the-top combo stuff. It's just like, oh, it feels good to be like switching through all this all these weapons and things. It's like, oh boy, it's fun. It's just fun. And when a game is fun, why bother? I believe that Reggie said that.
True.
Yes. I don't really have a whole lot to say, and I don't want to get too much into the story or anything. But like the last hour or so, I did a chef's kiss. You can't see that because it's an audio.
It's an audio.
It's an audio program. I'll just play like an Italian music right there, so everyone will know it's a chef's kiss and not a regular kiss, which would be inappropriate at a time like this.
That would be kind of inappropriate during business hours.
Exactly right. I'm not going to do that. I've established we don't edit the podcast.
Yep.
We don't need to. All of it's staying in and all of it's gold. So yeah, pick up God of War Ragnarok. It's a little indie gem. You've probably never even heard of it. I saw that it's the best-selling God of War game ever. You idiots should play the first game. It does not hold your hand. You could watch the God of War recap video that is on the main menu, but just play the first game, you cowards. It's so good. And I mean, I don't know. They are just really, really solid. I don't know if this is going to be a trilogy. I've heard some people say it's going to be a trilogy. I don't know if that is official, but I don't know. It would be pretty cool. I haven't played a whole lot of the post-game thing because I just finished it today. Then I got like 20 minutes into the post-game, and I'm like, yeah, not right now. I have stuff to do. And then I did none of that stuff.
Awesome.
So I guess you could say it's a pretty good day. So yeah, get God of War Ragnarok. I watched too many movies. That's really just yeah. Let me see how many movies I've seen just this last week alone. Started there. Okay. I think over the past 4 days I've seen 7 movies. Yes. Or wait, I already talked about Pinocchio. I've seen 6 movies.
Yes.
Okay. Those movies are, I'm not going to talk about them all because whatever. Blade Runner 2049, Home Alone 2, Robocop, Glass Onion, A Knives Out story. It's a new Star Wars story. Demolition Man, and The Fabelmans, the hit Steven Spielberg classic. I'm going to be talking about Blade Runner 2049, Robocop, Glass Onion, and The Fabelmans, a Steven Spielberg classic. Blade Runner 2049 starts just as Blade Runner, the first one, ends, except not at all, and like 30 years later. And it doesn't follow Harrison Ford at all. He's featured very prominently on the cover, and he maybe has like 10 minutes of screen time. Seems about right. That's Harrison Ford for you. If there's a franchise that wants to do a sequel of a Harrison Ford movie, he'll be in it, but he's not going to like it. And he is going to take as much money as possible. Because he can do that. He crashes helicopters, so he needs to keep buying them. So maybe think about that before making fun of Harrelson Ford.
I won't.
Don't do it. This movie was fantastic. It was better than the first one. The first one I gave 4 stars. This one I gave 4.5. It was a fantastic little film. If you don't like noir movies, skip it. But if you like Dune and you like the kind of long, drawn-out sci-fi with like fantastic visual effects, this is the movie for you, my friend. This is a very good film. The only bad thing about it is that Jared Leto is in it. But the good thing is that Jared Leto plays the CEO of the bad tech corporation. So you're meant to hate him in this movie, which is always a plus.
True.
just like he's in Fight Club. And
It's kind of unrealistic seeing Jared Leto at any position of a CEO, though.
Yeah, that's true. He's also blind.
Oh.
So that's kind of fun. It's like, in like Dune, there was the fat guy and he was just kind of like floating around. He had all like those tentacle things. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Jared Leto's like that. He just walks around in a suit, but he has like all these like little camera, like these little, they look like earbuds or something, and they're like but bigger, and they kind of just like fly around him, and those are like his cameras, and he has it like linked up to his brain, so he can kind of like see all over the room. It's kind of cool. Nice. It's a cool idea. But yeah, very, very nice. The story is very good. I don't want to talk too much about any of these movies because I have too many to talk about. But definitely check out Blade Runner 2049. It was a box office flop, and I don't think a lot of people saw it, which I think it came out in like the era of the 80s remake or reboot. Like 2015 to like 2018, I would say is like, that was when every studio who owned like a legacy franchise was like, oh, we need to do something now. And I think this was like happening at the tail end of that, and people maybe thought this was going to be a cash in. No, it is fantastic. This might be the only good like reboot or remake to come out of that period. So definitely check it out. I need to go see some more Denis Villeneuve movies. I need to see Arrival. I need to see Prisoners and Sekiro. But they're all long. I mean, you've seen Dune. You know how long his movies are.
Like 2.5.
Too long.
Too
long. That's not true. I loved Dune.
No,
Dune's awesome. Next, we're going to talk about Robocop, the original one. This is my first Paul Verhoeven movie. Paul Verhoeven made, I think he made Starship Troopers, Total Recall, Basic Instinct. He likes these kind of social commentary, sci-fi, alternate universe kind of things. I just wanted to watch it because I know the squib work in it is phenomenal. There's something to be said, and I don't hate CGI. I just talked about how Dune and Blade Runner like 2049 were fantastic, and I love the CGI in those movies. But there's something with blood. I don't think I've ever seen CGI blood done well. And I could be wrong. I could, see a clip of one that is done great. But whenever there's a real squib going off, there's something to that. It feels more real, because you see like the shirt explode or whatever. And Paul Verhoeven has that down. The scene in the beginning in the boardroom where there's like this big robot thing and it just like shreds this dude as he's like just shot across the room, and he's like, I don't know, he's turned into Swiss cheese, I guess you could say. It's so good. It's so good. It's like the best 80s schlock action I've ever seen. But it also has a lot to say. Like every 20 minutes, like the movie like stops and then like ads are played from this universe. And like it's pretty good. One of them is like, it's like this thing for like a medical center where you can like it's like a heart center, I think. And then it's a doctor talking about all of the loopholes that you have to like go through to like get this heart surgery. And it's like a minute and a half. And then it like zooms in on him and he's like, and most of all, we care. It's like, funny joke, funny social commentary, healthcare system bad. Boo-hoo, Paul Verhoeven, so sad about healthcare. Go back to Holland? He's Dutch. Where's Dutch? Netherlands?
Sure. Yeah.
Netherlands.
Okay.
Yes. Go back to the Netherlands. Get
American
free healthcare. Who cares? Boo. We Americans love healthcare. As long as it's...
No, we don't. You can't get it.
We love the current healthcare system, and we don't want anything to change ever because we hate poor people.
Yep.
That's kind of the thing about this movie, is that Robocop is like... It's also like this huge critique of the police system and stuff. Because it's like a corporation made this Robocop because cops are so bad at their job and crime still happens. And then Robocop just comes along and murks everybody. It's pretty awesome. I don't know. Just watch him blow up things. You don't have to think about this movie. I mean, you can if you want to, but why? It's fun. I gave it 4 stars. I loved it. It was fantastic. Fantastic film. Next. Oh, Glass Onion. Let's talk about Glass Onion. The new movies I'll probably have more to say about. Glass Onion, The Knives Out Tale, is a quasi-sequel to Knives Out, 2019 classic. 2019, probably one of the best years for movies we've had in a very long time. Knives Out sat very high on that list. And I was so excited for the sequel. Saw it with friend of the show, Grant, who constantly has the wrong opinions about things. But we had the same opinion on this movie, is that it was a little worse than the first one, but it's still really good. I gave it 4 stars. I think it's exactly 1/2 star less than the first one. And it's because, okay, so the first movie and why it's so great. For those who don't know, it's a murder mystery. Both of these are murder mysteries. In the first movie, it follows a family, and each character is very distinct from each other. They all have different jobs within this publishing company that the grandfather works for, or he like writes books. And so everyone has a different job. They all have different motivations and distinct personalities and political beliefs and all of this stuff. And all of this plays into the banter that is played by fantastic actors. The cast of that movie is absolutely stacked. Yeah, very, very good. Very good movie. It mostly follows Ana de Armas, who's also in Blade Runner 2049. She is the nurse to the grandfather, and you're kind of rooting for her the whole time. And Glass Onion, for like the first half an hour, there's nobody like that. Everybody is horrible. There is not a single good person that is on this like island. And I want to root for Edward Norton because I love Edward Norton so much. He's one of the best actors of our generation. But he's the bad guy. He's the Jeff Bezos, unfortunately. And I would say Jeff Bezos. Or you know what? No. He's Elon Musk. Because he's like a rad dude who drives around in a cool car. And he has this private island that's all made of glass. And it's very cool. And he's like, I'm a cool Reddit guy. And I'm friend with Dave Bautista. And he's like a freaking like Joe Rogan. He's Joe Rogan. And then Catherine Hahn is like a politician who's paid off by Elon Musk, which probably wouldn't happen. I could never see that. What? Never. And then there's like a controversial chick. She's who's she in real life? Like a Martha Stewart? No, she's the kind of... Okay, so her, like, defining characteristic is that she's just, like, the worst. And this takes place during COVID. So, like, she arrives to the island wearing, like, one of those, like fishnet masks, you know? That, like, celebrities would wear. And they're like, we're doing our part, but that does nothing. She was wearing one of those. And then, like, she was throwing a COVID party. So I guess she's kind of like a Kardashian. I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's one decent dude. He's Leslie Odom Jr., who's also fantastic. He just plays like a scientist. He's like the actual inventor that Elon Musk exploits and takes the credit for. So he's like a decent guy, but also like not great ethically. But yeah. And then like Elon Musk's ex-business partner is played by Janelle Monáe of Fun Some Nights fame. And she's fantastic. I think she's kind of, I don't know, has she kind of like stepped away from music? Because she's been in a lot of movies recently.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think they've been pretty chill on music.
Okay. Well,
I don't remember. I'd have to look up the last time it came out.
well, I don't want to spoil too much, but let's just say that Janelle Monáe does a very good performance in this movie. And then Daniel Craig, just a fantastic. I love Daniel Craig as a Benoit Blanc. He's the best.
Benoit.
He is officially gay in this movie. His partner is played by Hugh Grant, who is like the 90s rom-com guy, which is pretty funny.
Nice.
But they're never shown on screen at the same time. I'm guessing that's a COVID thing, because this is very obviously a COVID movie. It all takes place on one island, and it's a very small cast of people. You're not getting your Lakeith Stanfield cop coming in. It's just Benoit Blanc and these like 5 other people. So yeah, the first like half an hour, I'm like, I don't care about any of these people. Like any one of these people could die and I would feel nothing, because just the entire time they're shown to be the worst, and like there's nothing redeeming about any of these people. And then like there's a big switch into the second act, and it's like, okay, I got it. But yeah, I think it's really, really good. I would highly recommend it if you have the chance to see it in theaters. It isn't one that needs it, honestly. I'm glad I did see it in theaters, though. But it's going to be on Netflix by the end of December, so watch it then. It'll be good. So there you go. And then the other one, The Fabelmans. Steven, I don't know why I'm giving it that subtitle, a Steven Spielberg classic. This is probably the best Steven Spielberg movie that he's made in like 15 to 20 years. I know. And I'm going to preface this by saying I only went to see this movie because David Lynch is in it. He has maybe 2 minutes of screen time, and that's generous. And it's like a 2.5 hour movie. So if you are a diehard David Lynch fan and you want to see this movie because David Lynch is in it, well, I mean, the movie's really, really good, but don't go in it expecting David Lynch to be like a prominent character in it. My favorite part of the whole movie was there's just this David Lynch plays famous director John Ford, who made like Grapes of Wrath and Stagecoach, a bunch of like westerns with John Wayne and stuff. And there's just a shot of just, it's like maybe 30 to 45 seconds of David Lynch just smoking a cigar, and he's just like constantly just like just like constantly breathing in and then like letting out smoke. And it is like the longest sequence I've ever seen. He barely talks, which is kind of sad because it's David Lynch. You gotta go in for his voice. He does give a "what the hell." Gotta love that. Cool. Gotta love that. He also gives a "get the fuck out of my room." You gotta love that too. But this is a quasi biopic about Steven Spielberg's life. He says that it is not a biopic about his life, but let me describe to you the story of this movie and see if you can see any parallels to Steven Spielberg. This is a coming-of-age story about a young boy who grows up in New Jersey and moves across the country to Arizona, and eventually California. He is a young Jewish boy. That is important. There's a lot of things that have to go with that. He faces anti-Semitism in Northern California. Shocking, I know.
What?
I know. And he is an aspiring filmmaker. He fell in love with movies, seeing... Oh, what was the movie? I think it's The Greatest Show on Earth. With the freaking train that gets derailed. He fell in love with that movie, and ever since then he was obsessed. He made movies with his siblings and with his Boy Scout troop, and eventually he got on a little show called Hogan's Heroes. And then he made Jaws. That's not in the movie.
Yeah.
But like everything else is what happens to the main character in the movie. And I don't know a whole lot about Spielberg, but that just seems like Spielberg, you know? Like if I had to imagine what Steven Spielberg's life was like, it would be that. Because I really don't know much about him. I know he just kind of like blew up on the scene. His first movie ever was Jaws. And that's kind of crazy. Because like you make that and it's like the highest grossing movie of all time at the time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, nowhere to go but down. But he somehow topped it like 10 times. A bunch of times. He made a movie with Daniel Day-Lewis for Pete's sakes. Lincoln.
Lincoln.
It's a good movie. I'll say it. I think it's the best movie he's made since Lincoln. Lincoln came out in 2012. So 10 years. Good on you, Spielberg. Yeah. This movie's fantastic. I don't know how much of it is that kind of nostalgia of making movies. Because there's a lot of like nods to just being like a scrappy kid making movies, using your headlights to shoot stuff because you don't have access to actual production lights. It's a little tip for everyone. They were doing some of the old like hold a water balloon full of fake blood, so then when you get shot you just squeeze it and then the fake blood comes out of your hand. And the one thing that I thought was pretty cool that they did was they like were in the desert and then they would like dig holes and then like have a plank that was kind of like in the hole and then half out, so it was like you could step on it and then like send the board up, and then they put like a bunch of sand on that board, and then like they were shooting a war scene where all these guys were like running across the desert, and then as they were running, like the actors were stepping on the board and like sending the sand up as if they like there was a big explosion. Like that's a cool trick. I mean, that's pretty scrappy for a young boy. But yeah, there's a lot of heart to this movie. Yeah, it's weird to see that Spielberg charm again, because I feel like his modern movies have been so devoid of that. Because like you watch even like E.T., which I'm not a huge fan of E.T., but there's a whole lot of like whimsy and just heart between these characters. Or like Jurassic Park. You gotta love all the kids in Jurassic Park. Don't take that out of context. And then Hook. That's a movie with a lot of heart. Nobody likes that movie except for me, but I like it. He just knows how to like create people who are likable and who you want to see succeed. And they may or may not be, they're probably not perfect. He likes to show like kind of flawed people, but you're still like, oh, come on, you can do it, guy. I believe in you. And that's kind of this whole movie. It's fantastic. I went into it with the lowest of expectations, like, oh boy, another modern Spielberg movie. What's this gonna be? The Ready Player One? I don't care about this at all. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was phenomenal. I loved it. Yeah, I don't know what's keeping me from giving it the full on 5, but I feel like I've been too generous with the 5s this year because I think I've given out two. Pinocchio and Everything, Everywhere, which I think are 2 reasonable 5s, but I don't know. I don't want to be giving them out willy-nilly. I think it deserves to be just for the perfect movies. And The Fabelmans, it has the fatal flaw of being directed by Spielberg, and therefore it's not cool. So that's all the movies I watched. Well, it isn't all of them, but I'm not going to talk about Home Alone 2. What do you want me to say about Home Alone 2? It's the same movie as the first one, except it takes place in New York. It's the same movie.
Good.
It's good, but the first movie is also good. So
Yeah.
if you just do the same movie again, it's pretty good. Demolition Man, stupid. Pro-cop propaganda, a libertarian's wet dream. Also, pretty cool.
Also pretty cool.
I don't know. I like watching people get shot. Don't take that out of context. I like the schlocky kind of shot. I'm never going to watch a David Cronenberg body horror movie, but if it's just like fun and stupid, I'm all for that. That's why I love Tarantino so much. Just stupid amount of gore. It's not even funny, except it is. I love watching Hans, the German guy, get the swastika get carved on his forehead. It's awesome. It says a lot about society. Take the uniform off, but you can't take the swastika off your forehead.
True.
Ever thought about that? It's an interesting message. I had to talk about that in my my film history class. Yeah. He was like, what does this represent? I don't know. It's Tarantino. What do you want me to say? You probably just did it because it looked cool. I don't think Tarantino is capable of having like
that
a
is like
message.
half the things that Tarantino does.
Yeah. It's like Tarantino. Like, Tarantino's famous quote is, when asked, why do you do so much blood and gore? Couldn't you just make a movie that is just good writing and stuff? And he said, because it's fun, Jan. Get with it.
True.
Which is, I agree 100%. So, there you go. Movie week. What a movie week it was. Pinocchio's coming out next week. Everybody go see it on Netflix.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. We will move on to the music portion of this podcast with Babby.
There is nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing? You
I
didn't listen
listened
to anything?
Nothing new.
Wow. This is crazy.
I don't think anything came out that I was interested in.
Did you listen to the Nickelback record?
No, that was last week.
Well, I don't
But
know.
yes,
You
I
might
heard
have
a couple
listened to
songs.
it.
No.
Okay.
I have heard a couple songs from it though. It's pretty bad.
Okay.
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
I don't know what's coming out. They have Sisson next month. That's it.
Yeah.
I guess I watched the show more than I watched the movie. So
Talk about it.
listen to music. 1899.
The Dark Show, too.
The Dark Show people made a boat show.
Oh, okay.
I think we're 3 episodes in, so we're almost halfway through.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like it because they pack so much in one episode because these are
Yeah.
like 1 hour episodes.
Yeah, those are like, if
45
it's anything
minutes
like
stuff.
Dark, it's just like
Yes.
constant and it's just so exhausting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
This one's like a little bit easier to digest though, but I can't tell if that's because I've watched Dark or not.
I don't know.
But basically, it's like this ship that is taking people to America from like all different countries. So you have like the French and the Spanish and the Japanese. And so it's a multinational show. So there is English in it, but there's also a million other languages.
That's cool.
So you definitely need subtitles.
Oh, yeah.
Don't watch it dubbed. That would be
Oh,
kinda
no,
weird.
don't watch it dubbed.
Because it plays big roles into the characters as like their nationalities and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is like, so Dark tells its story very much through visual and sound. Like strikingly so. There's not a lot of dialogue in that show,
No.
and when there is, they give it time to breathe because it's heavy hitting stuff for most of it.
Yes.
This show was mostly dialogue, which is not a bad thing. It's just very different.
Yes.
But yeah, the guy that plays Future Jonas is in this show. He does very good. I like him
he's
very
great.
much as an actor.
Yeah.
But there is so many twists and turns. This show doesn't give you anything. Dark doesn't hold your hand, but this show definitely doesn't hold your hand. we were so confused for most of it.
Yeah.
But it's still very, very well crafted. They show you little hints and little teasers and little everything that you can kind of like think and pull apart as you're watching. Lots of different twists and turns already in only the 3 episodes. There's a lot of weirdo stuff that goes on. It's a lot more weirdo than Dark. Dark was more grounded in reality besides the whole time travel thing.
Besides everything, but yes.
Yeah, but like it still felt like it was like,
Yeah,
you know,
no, I know what you're saying.
grounded.
It felt like a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yes. Yeah. This show is not like that. This show, it looks like an H.P. Lovecraft like production. It's very occult. It's very pretty. Like the outfits that all the different countries wear is like they're super exaggerated. But there's like the logo of the show with the upside down triangle with a little line through the top. Every single character has that built into their uniform somehow. It's like in the decor of the ship and everything. But it's like I think it was based on a true story of like a ship hauling passengers and getting lost and just like falling off the face of the earth. So it does take that theme. So it is very much ghost boat type stuff, which is pretty cool. There's definitely some similarities to Dark, but they're told in a different way. It's not as time focused. It's weird. There's something else going on with it. But just no getting into it. It's one of those crazy rides again where you have to be very focused up. And like I think the last 2 episodes we watched, they end with like some gigantic info drop and then just end the episode. I think
Yeah.
Dark did this as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Like most episodes. So they have a formula and it works very well. But I am very much enjoying it so far. There's only 8 episodes, which I feel like is a good amount for this because we're already getting like a good basis of what's happening. It's not like Dark where like 75% through the first season you're starting to get it somehow. This one you can at least put pieces together a little bit quicker. But the acting is really fantastic from everybody. These are all actors I have like no idea who they are because it all is like multinational. But soundtrack is fantastic. It uses like the old bassy horns of like cargo ships and like plays that into the soundtrack, and it's very glitchy. It's not used as much as Dark. Dark uses a lot of its music.
Yeah.
But this show uses like it picks songs like Dark that are very much intertwined to what's happening currently in the story. So if you read the lyrics of the songs as they're going on, it gives you like little hints, and that's really cool. I love these mystery shows, especially when they're as well done as this. So we'll see how far off the rails it gets.
Yeah, I don't.
So far, pretty good.
I don't know if is this a one and doneer? Is this a limited series or is
Couldn't
this
tell
a
you.
thing?
I
Okay.
guess we'll find out when I finish it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
It doesn't look like it'll have legs to have multiple seasons, but like at the same time, after some of the bombs that get dropped like right before the episode ends, it definitely could. There's room for it.
Yeah. Well, guess we'll see. Be fun. I think I'm. I don't think I'd be. I'm not in the right headspace to watch 1899 right now.
Yeah, you might like it more than Dark though. Whenever you are ready for it.
I might. I probably will watch it eventually. It's one of those I will eventually. Just like Clone High.
These are
I won't. I was hoping to get to it sometime, and then I have to write this stupid research paper about Nina Simone. Who even cares about Nina Simone? Not Lauryn Hill.
It's true.
It's funny because Lauryn Hill made a tribute album to Nina Simone. Did you know that?
Humor. I did not.
Huh?
Huh?
Feels like 5 songs on it. Pretty
It's
cool.
a very hefty tribute.
Well, there's a bunch of people on it, but she has the most
I
on
was
it.
gonna say 5 songs is all she gets.
No, it's a 16 track album with Lauryn Hill having, let me count, 6 songs, but like Common's on it, Mary J. Blige, Usher. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. I guess I could talk a little bit. I listened to Harry Belafonte's album Calypso for the paper. It's pretty good. I knew nothing about it. I knew one thing about it, and that's the frickin' Deo song. Everybody knows Deo. Deo. And that it's crazy because it's on the album twice. Once as Deo, track 6, Starro, for the day shift. See, the first one is for the night shift. Second one for the day shift. He used to live somewhere in the Caribbean, and they actually sung that song. Don't worry, my paper will get published soon, and everybody will be able to read it. It'll be in a very prestigious journal. It'll be in the Journal of American History on January 5th, and everyone can read it. Except it's not. So, that's podcast for you.
Let's go.
Yeah, hopefully something happens. When are the Game Awards?
It was a holiday weekend, I suppose. That's probably why.
Yeah, there was like nothing over this whole week. Game Awards, 2 weeks. Well, I guess it's next week, but it'll take 2 weeks for us to talk about it on the podcast.
Correct.
I am nothing if not a slut for the awards season.
We love award season.
Yo! I wish they would invite me to the red carpet.
Maybe someday.
Think there's a chance?
No.
Think the Grammys would invite popular music YouTuber Boy Time to...
God, no.
If they invited us, would you go?
Probably not. That sounds scary.
Oh, I'd go. It'd be awesome. Imagine walking the red carpet with Bruno Mars. It'd be so fun.
We'd be just some guy.
Yeah, I'm some
We'd
guy.
just be like normal people.
Does Fantano go to the Grammys?
No. I would dress up as Fantano if I went to the Grammys.
I would dress up as Pharrell from 2012. Just to be funny.
Yeah.
Or Michael Jackson now. Just a skeleton. Phoebe Bridgers style.
Yeah.
So, okay, bye.